sometimes you just need to do what's best for you, regardless if people like it or not. Oh well. Hi friends. What's up guys, it's the girl Books with Bonnie and I am back with another effing video. Today's video is going to be all about your girls TBR, my I won't call them DNF, I will say my not right now list and my wrap up from August. So let's jump in. Did y'all miss me or whatever? To kind of jump right into this, I wanted to talk about my wrap up for August since I didn't do a TBR video. So all right, this is not in any kind of order. I just have the stack right here, and then afterwards I'm going to show you guys the books that I did not finish, but I don't want to call them DNFs, so because I seriously think I'm going to finish them. I just didn't finish them before the month was over, let's just say that. All right, to get started, we have The Donut Trap, and this is about Jasmine. And Jasmine family has a donut shop, and she has a brother, and she found this little cutie patootie when she was working in college, and she really liked him and was really attracted to him. She used to work at like this ticket place where people buy tickets to games and stuff like that, and she got his number from work and called him and got his voicemail. Anyway, time passes on. She feels like she's behind. She feels like she's not where she wants to be in life, but she doesn't really know what she wants to do in life either. And lo and behold, another opportunity with this cutie patootie pops back up. Is she vibing? Yes. But let's be clear, this is not just like a romance, right? It talks a lot about a lot of like really difficult topics. For one, the pressures from family, especially being from immigrant families and dealing with like being first generation American and all these things. Like, this book was so well done. I really, really loved it. I think I gave this 4 stars. So yeah, it was a vibe. Okay. Next book. I finally finished a series that's been on my list for a while, and that's the Crazy Rich Asian series. I think that's what they call it, Crazy Rich Asian series. That's the first one, yes. So I read Rich People Problems. I don't know what it is about this that I ate it up. I really ate it up. I was like, I'm not even hungry, but I'm gonna eat it anyway. Like, this was so interesting. Now, I know some people said that it's problematic for, I think it's in the first book that one of the characters used the N-word, and a lot of people were like, cancel the author, don't read it, etc., etc. But the truth of the matter is, there's a lot of minorities that think it's okay to use that word because they only see it as slang and not the oppression behind it. That being said, I saw it and was like offended, but that did not stop me from continuing to read. I don't know if I'm problematic for that reason. I probably am, but just being aware of it. If you do read the series, the first book has the N-word in it, unless you get the updated copy, because eventually they did remove it. But clearly you've never been to Texas, because in Texas everybody uses the N-word, whether it be for your home skillet biscuit or other reasons. Okay, moving on. I finally started this book. This is Crave by Tracy Wolff, and everyone was like, it's a Twilight vibe. For those who don't know, I still haven't finished the Twilight series. I've only read the first couple of books, and I was very much a Twilight girly. Very much the movie Twilight girly. So, also a lot of people said it's a lot of problematic stuff going on in that. So that just shows you a lot of my books don't age well. But anyway, we have Crave, and the main character's parents die, and basically she has to move to Alaska with her living relatives, which is her uncle and her niece. But she come to find out that if it's a retelling of Twilight, you guys already know there's vampires involved, there's so many twists and whirlwinds, and I ate it up. I'm gonna let y'all know right now, finished in one day. Now, I think I gave it either like a 3.75 or a 4. But for those who can get over the whole Twilight comparison, I think you would really enjoy this book. Yes, it's YA, but I thought it was fun. I personally thought it was fun. I didn't do too much. Like, don't do too much if you're a diehard, if you're just like invested in those characters and any recollection of them bothers you, this is not a book for you. But if you can go into this completely neutral, you would enjoy this book. I'm just saying. I enjoyed it. It was a wrap. moving on. The other book that I read this month is Black Cake. Now, this was technically a reread for me. The first time I read it, I didn't finish it. So I had to go back and reread it with my book club. And this is my in-person book club. This book had so many characters, so many emotions, so many things. And the first time I read through it, a lot of this I forgot. So rereading it, I was kind of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But I finished it this time, and I have to say I really, really, really had a lot of feelings. Do I change my original ranking of it? I don't know. I think I gave it either 3.5 or 4 stars, one of the two. That's a big gap though. Hear me out. That is a big gap. But yeah, it was such a vibe. I think I changed my ranking though, because in the beginning, all of the extra characters, I was just kind of like, can we stop? This is too much. But after I read all the way to the end, I get it. Like, I get it now. I get it. I'm invested. Worth it. Worth a read for sure. Okay, and then the last book that I finished, which is actually a graphic novel, and this one is with my virtual book club, and that is Sweeney Boo's Eat and Love Yourself. This I was not prepared for. I probably should be looking at content warnings when I'm picking books, but I am a person who likes to go into books blind, so just be warned if you're my virtual book club. Be prepared to do your own homework when it comes to the triggers. I personally think that spoils the book for me, so I never read that kind of stuff. I'm also going through this phase where I don't like to look at reviews and things like that before I read a book, but just be prepared. This book talks about the main character. I forget her name. I think it was like Mindy or something like that. But Mindy is struggling with body dysmorphia and eating control, and just like, it's such a complex story. I'm just gonna let y'all know. Don't let the cuteness fool you, because it definitely fooled me. These pages, gorge. Beautiful art style in this book. But when I say I was not prepared for something so quick, so short, so just to touch on so many things that was going on in this book, I'm frankly impressed with the author. But man, me and my book club had a really great discussion on this, and if those type of things don't trigger you, I would recommend reading this book. I think it's worth a read. It definitely had me thinking and processing a lot, and my book club had a really great discussion. So here we go. That's what your sis did. And that was the last book that I read in August. So let's talk about the books that, let's just say they're not right nows versus did not finish. So moving on. So let's jump into my not right nows, because one of them I'm currently reading and I'm probably going to finish this month, but I digress. Okay, so the first book that I have, I was buddy reading Bite Me by Melissa with Jamie at Jamie Reads. Make sure you follow my home skillet biscuit. And this one was actually like a little YA, and it's about AJ, who is a vampire, and her entire life is lying to people. Lying that she's human, lying that she's perfect. And right in the beginning of the story, you find out that her parents, her mom marries her boyfriend's dad. So technically the love of her life is now considered her brother-in-law. And it gets wild from there. There is multiple beings, creatures, and a whole bunch of like wanderers that's happening. Behind the scenes, you learn a lot about they do a lot of comparisons between what's fictional vampire history and what's actual vampire history, which I like, and I thought that was fun. And it was a nice twist, because most of the books that I read about vampires, they only tell you the things that aren't true, but she talks about the things and how they were like developed. And I thought that was pretty cool. Overall, I think I gave this one up until, yeah, I didn't get far. Chapter 12, not far at all. But I did like it. I just personally don't know why I couldn't finish it. I think I was just too torn between the books I was reading, and I couldn't get through this. So I'm going to try to finish it this month, but we shall see. Who knows? The next book that I have is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. And I got this book years ago, like when I first got my channel. I think this was gifted to me, or I either got it from like a discounted store or something. But I haven't read anything by her, but I'm always gifted books of hers. So this is actually my first, no, correction, my second Rainbow book, because I do have her Pumpkinheads comic book-esque, and I really enjoyed it. I read it like twice every like every fall. So it was really cutesy. So I was like, let me try something new. A friend of mine wrote a ton of kind of fan fiction things, and I was recently reading them and I was like, this is actually a thing. Like, people read fanfic and write fanfic. I personally have never gotten into it. I've never like, you know, you never get into those things, and maybe it was just I missed the peak. Maybe I was busy doing something, I don't know. But a lot of people do it. So I was reading a friend of mine's fanfic and it just made me want to read this. And don't get me wrong, again, got super far. This is actually the one that I'm currently reading, and I think I'm like 85% done with this book. Let's just be frank. Yeah, I'm on page 301 and it's like 420 pages. So like literally almost done with this book. I just need to actually finish it. So wish me luck. All right, and then the last book, which has been a not right now for a while, for a couple of months now. I was supposed to read this book for a couple of months now, still haven't read it. Working on it. And that is going to be Gods and Monster by Janie Marie. That's interesting, we have the same middle name. But anywho, this book, I initially was so excited and so invested into this story, and I don't know if it was just like too much going on or not enough going on for me to continue to read, but I keep putting it down. And once again, I have this much left. Like I'm almost there. I'm on page 380 and there's like 400 and something pages. And I don't know. I just don't know. I just have a lot of feelings and I don't know if I'm going to actually finish this one, at least anytime soon. A part of me just wants to spend this month just kind of reading and catching up on these 3 books. But the other half of me is like, baby, if you need to move on, you just need to grow and show that you're just not feeling it at the time. But I don't know if I will always feel that way, which is why these are not right nows versus DNFing them completely. So now let's get into the books that I'm actually going to read this month. And let me clarify, because people are like, you do TBRs for your current read, like how does that work? It's very simple. I narrow down what I am reading within a month. Now, that being said, because I'm a mood reader, sometimes it is not back to back in the order that I say it is. Sometimes I start a book, stop it, read something else, come back to it, and that's where my mood reading come in. But the thing is, I've always done a TBR. I don't know why that is so confusing for some, but I wanted to clarify. So jumping right in. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books that I'm going to attempt to read this month. And a lot of these are going to be either audiobook, because again, your girl's in school, she be busy, she be doing stuff, and I want to try my best to get as much of this done as possible. So jumping right in. So book number 1 is Girls with Sharp Sticks, and this is by Suzanne Young. You guys know how I feel about her. I really love her writing. I read all of the program series and it was just, whew, it was very much a great read for me, especially the first 2 books. What I didn't like about it is that they kept changing the main characters as the story went on. But anywho, I digress. This is the one I'm the most excited about. Do I know what this book is about? Absolutely not. This is what I got. This is it. I didn't read the premise. I didn't read anything. I do know it's a duology, or at least so far it is a duology. And yes, I have the second book, but I have yet to read it. So I need to get this done. Okay, next. The next book that I have is When No One Is Watching, and this is a thriller by Alyssa Cole. Now, I know this has something to do with like gentrification and like creepy, eerie vibes, so I thought it was perfect for September. Not necessarily scary horror gore, but something that's kind of like spooky. So, I'm excited about this. Also, this is my first time reading her work. I've never read anything by her, so that's a plus for me. The next book that I have is The Taking of Jake Livingston, and this is by Ryan Douglas, and it says Fear Will Find You. Now, I know there's a lot of trigger warnings in this book. A lot. There is some things that mentally I don't know if I'm prepared for, but I've had this book for so long, I might as well read it. First time I went through it, I was listening to it on audiobook, and I can't for the life of me remember anything about this book. I mean, I literally listened to it maybe 2 days after it was released, so your girl was on it, but I can't tell you what it's about because I don't remember. That just shows you I wasn't paying attention, and I didn't do the kind of combination read that I normally do with audio and me reading it. So I'm hoping it sticks the second time around. wish me luck. Finally getting into another author that I really, really love, and that is Tiffany D. Jackson. I have 2 of her most recent releases, and that is White Smoke, which I'll be reading, but I also have, I think it's a Carrie retelling. I forget the name of it right now, but I have both of those books, and I did a random selection, and this is the one I'm going to read this month. I most likely read the other one next month. Let's just get that out of the way. It's going to be a Tiffany D back-to-back with these 2 TBRs for the next 2 months. But I'm going to read this, and I've heard some interesting things about it, but the cover though, yeah, baby fire. Covers everything. But for the most part, I think it's about like this family moving into a haunted house, and there's a bunch of weird stuff going on. So I'm like, yeah, this is definitely up my alley. Let's do it. Let's roll with it, you know? Okay. Next, I am finally finishing another series of mine, and that is the Brown Sister series. I am finally at Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which I personally loved. A Danny Brown story. Chloe was okay, so I'm very interested to see where this is gonna end. So yeah, good stuff. Another book that I have is Crush, which is the 2nd book in the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. Read that last month, had a good time, it was good, but now I'm ready to move on and find out what happens next in the series. So I think this is the perfect time to be reading it too. It's fall, it's gonna be moving into the Spookyville, you know, kind of vibe, so why not? The next book I have is Ace of Spades. Now everyone either loves this book or hates this book, and I've yet to talk to the people that's just kind of right in the middle. I don't know what to feel or how to feel, but I'm excited. I do know what this one is about. It's the very private school, and there's very minimum Black people there, and these 2 are popular, and then there's these secret notes that are kind of threatening of everything that they hold true and near to them. So I'm excited about it. I know a lot of people have read it, but it's about time I get my own opinion about it. So we shall see. The next book that I have is Black Sun. This is another reread for comprehension because I cannot remember what the heck this book is about. Like, it's sprinkled in places, but my mind, my brain can't tell you what the story is about. I know it has to do with pirates. There's like a death right away, and I remember very small details, but I cannot tell you what the hell this book is about. So I told myself maybe I should just reread it to get clarification. So sis is gonna be rereading this, and yes, I do have the 2nd book waiting for the 3rd. So here we go. Last but not least, I have the 2 books that I have for my 2 book clubs. So my current virtual book club, The Plot Thickens book club, is going to be reading Bitter, and I did read Pet, so my brain is still processing Pet, so I think it's a good time to go ahead and read Bitter, which is about the mom of the main character in Pet. And the author, they are incredible when it comes to painting a good picture for me. I just ate it up, so why wouldn't I continue, you know? So we'll be reading this, and then my in-person book club had a random selection, and we will be reading The Beginning of Forever, and this is by A.E. Valdez. And so many people have talked about this on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Like, so many people say this is such a good read. It's about time I get an opinion of my own. So this is going to be a very interesting conversation with my book club, but I cannot wait. Also, this cover is adorable. Just saying. All right, guys, that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's a little bit lengthy, but I wanted to make sure you guys got all the details of everything going on. But yes, I will be posting my live videos and sprints and things like that for my book clubs, as well as my sprints, so you guys will have the schedules. So make sure you check out the community page or community tab here on YouTube. But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. What is one of the books that you'll be reading this month? Which one are you the most excited for? Check it out. All right, guys, it's your girl Books with Bonnie, and I'm out.